Hi, welcome back to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith, and in this video, we're going to learn Mission 6, Missing Link for Mechs vs. Minions, which is designed and published by Riot Games. This scenario is meant to be played after you finish Mission 5, and we have a video for that as well, which I'll put a link to in the description below. In the last scenario, we barely escaped this pouring lava, and the professor has traced it back to this mysterious cavern, which we definitely want to get inside of, right? Well, maybe not, but the professor wants us to. Unfortunately, there's an electric barrier in front, and he's assured us he can show us how to shut it down. Unfortunately, he didn't tell us someone has returned to stop us. It's the boss minion. Well, the professor might not tell you everything you need to know, but I will. So let's go to the table and learn how this works. This scenario is found in the Operation Missing Link dossier, and inside you'll find not only the new rules that we're going to learn, but also new cards that we'll examine in just a moment. Lay out the map tiles as shown, with the minions placed in these positions and the crystal shards on each of the repair pads. The command and damage deck should be put nearby along with the dice and the crystal compass oriented in this direction. The boss will go on these spaces in any direction that the players choose, and you should also have his command line and deck nearby. On the gear track, set the boss's health to 2 on the Doom tracker, or to 1 if you want to play on easy mode. Players then put their mechs on any of these 4 spaces, facing in any directions that they choose. This mission's sealed pack does not contain a new damage card, but there are new schematics for each of the players, so distribute those. I should also point out, if you have one of the first printings of this game, Heimerdinger's new schematic says that it costs 7 gears to unlock here, but incorrectly says that it only costs 5 on this side. So just keep that in mind when you're playing. You first need to get 7 gears before this activates. And that's the setup. In Operation Missing Link, you need to destroy each of the crystal shards to drop the electric barrier, and then get all of the mechs onto the far row, all the while avoiding certain defeat at the hands of the boss mech. So let's go to the table and learn the new rules. First, we have some new spaces. These massive boulders block mech, minion, and boss movement, along with any attacks that are blocked by obstructions. So Heimerdinger here could not use a ripsaw to attack this crystal shard. Keep in mind, an attack like the boss's blue one here is not blocked, even if the attack would pass through boulders. There are also spiky walls. If a mech would move past a space and into one, it instead stays put, but immediately suffers 1 damage, and then you continue resolving its command line. So for example, if I was here and moving 3 spaces, I would go 1, then 2, bump into the spiky wall and suffer 1 damage, and then for my 3rd point of movement, I'd bump into the spiky wall again and suffer another damage. Minions, however, will not take damage from spiky walls, and neither will the boss mech. These are lava pools. When a mech would step into one, it immediately stops, losing any remaining movement points from that current command slot. It then suffers 1 damage, and you continue resolving its remaining command line spaces. That said, if it enters lava again, it must also stop and suffer another damage. Mechs don't take any damage for turning or standing still within lava spaces that they've already entered. And minions don't take any damage from entering lava. The boss mech doesn't either. Speaking of which, the boss is back. After the minion phase, you'll resolve his danger phase like you did in Mission 3. But in this scenario, he can't be defeated. However, anytime you reduce his life to 0, you may then remove a boss card from the top of one of his command slots. His health is then reset to 2 or to 1 if you're playing on easy mode. Just remember, you can't damage the boss with an attack unless you've cleared the rune token from the color of the attack you're attempting. And this is done by stepping on the rune spaces. However, these rune spaces now control a new gameplay element, rune gates. These are the electric lines that you see here. As long as the gate matches the color of a rune that is covered up, then you cannot cross that gate with a mech. Once the rune is exposed, you can cross the gate, but once crossed, it reactivates that rune. And remember, anytime you damage a boss, that also reactivates the rune, making its matching barrier impassable again. In this way, the boss's defenses and the rune gates are linked. Now that you understand the rules for activating and deactivating rune gates, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You can also move through a rune gate, even one where the rune is covered up, if the card providing your movement matches the color of the gate that you're trying to cross. So for example, if Ziggs here was trying to cross this gate, and he was using skewer for its movement. This is blue, so all the normal rules apply. The gate is activated, so Ziggs can't cross. However, if he was resolving speed, this is yellow, like the gate, so he could pass through, even though the rune symbol is covered. Just be aware that if you are crossing a gate and it is deactivated, even if you're using a matching color, as soon as you cross, this will activate the barrier once again. In this scenario, there's only one rune gate color in play, but don't worry, in future scenarios, there will be more. Also note that minion and boss mech movement is never blocked by rune gates. Speaking of which, during minion movement, roll a rune die and move all minions in that direction based on the compass, meaning they'd end up in these positions assuming we had rolled green. Then spawn new minions on all matching colored rune spaces, just as we see here. During the minion attack step, they'll attack adjacent mechs as usual. You'll lose the game if the boss mech ever has 3 cards in a single slot when his command line is activated, so don't let that happen. Instead, to win, attack or move on to each crystal space, destroying all of them from the board, remembering that repair pads also remove a damaged card from the mech that enters its space. If at the end of the player phase, all 4 repair pads have been cleared and all the mechs are standing on any spaces of this back row, you have gained entrance to the magma chamber and win. Then read the paragraph here, and when you're ready, find and unseal Operation Dazzling Danger when you're ready to continue your adventure. Check the description of this video to find a link to the tutorial for this next mission. But if you have any questions about anything that you saw here, don't hesitate to put them in the comments below and I'll gladly answer them as soon as I get a chance. But until the next episode, thanks for watching.